April 10th, 2014. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 45 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall, and sitting next to me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
So I hope everybody enjoyed our April Fool's episode, the last episode that we did. The thing is, I don't really like being fooled.
Right.
And so I'm not crazy about fooling people anyway.
But so we tried to make it so you could get a sense pretty early that it was a joke.
Well, I don't know about pretty early, but I mean, if you listen to the whole episode,
that's real obvious.
By the time we're talking about a poker game where you force feed one of the players cat food, then hopefully everybody had caught on it. We did fool some people, but those who contacted us, like we got a couple of people contacted us correcting us on our advice on taking insurance in blackjack. And in both cases, it was before they had listened to the whole episode, right? So in our April Fool's episode, we said, oh, yeah, you got to take insurance in blackjack. People are crazy if they don't. And so, there were some people who were thinking, well, I know that's wrong. And then there were others who, gosh, it doesn't sound right, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've been wrong all this time, right? So,
well, we started it off with, this is You Can Bet on That coming from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yeah, we gave some clues early on. Salt Lake City, Utah, where there's no legal gambling. So that was one clue. And then, when the show started, we didn't even talk about how, hey, we're in Utah. Right?
Yeah,
so
right.
That was one clue.
And the fact that we said that we won the fire bet twice should have been a clue, because we're never winning the fire bet.
That's right. Just to make things clear, that was an April Fool's joke. We still have not won the fire bet.
And it doesn't look like we ever will. So, if that does happen.
But we did give clues. One thing we said was that you'd made the fire bet in 10 rolls.
Right.
Which is impossible. But I know there are some listeners who either didn't know or just thought, oh, they must have meant 12 rolls or 20 rolls or something. Because when you don't know you're being fooled, you kind of you rationalize certain things, right? You think, oh, well, okay, what they meant to say was this, right? And that kind of thing. And then you talked about betting on the Padres. Padres
now that should have been a clue for everybody.
We're 2-5 to win the World Series. 2-5. Nobody's 2-5 to win the World Series.
I don't think the Yankees in the history of baseball have ever been 2-5.
2-5, and the Padres of all players. Yeah,
that's a lock. And right now they're sitting at 3-6. The funny thing is, when we recorded that, it was before they had played their first game.
Yeah, we actually recorded the episode on March 30th and then posted it on April 1st. We wanted to have it all ready to go on April 1st, post it real early so that people could, actually
So I said they're 1-0 right now. They've won their first game and they hadn't even played it. And turns out they did win.
Yeah, that wasn't an April Fool's. Yeah. That was just a good prediction.
It was a good prediction. Yeah, they haven't won very many since.
No, they're not looking very good. But we continued on to talk about Keno and the lottery. And even though, eventually we wanted to make it clear that it was a bogus episode without coming right out and saying April Fools. We were trying to make some arguments that you hear from people who are real ignorant about math.
Right.
So we were talking about, in the lottery, you got to track numbers. Yeah. You got to see what numbers come up more often than others, right? Or numbers that are due.
I have patients all the time saying, those numbers are due. They've got to come up.
Yeah. So we were trying to sneak in some, false information that you actually hear. And then we talked about a 3-hour craps program on CBS. Yes. Somebody said that they actually were fooled up to the point where you said that Gunsmoke, you have to, if you miss the first 5 minutes of Gunsmoke, you're lost. That's what pushed him over the edge. Yeah. And then, of course, our poker home game, Tabletop Puncher.
Now, I do like that name, Tabletop Puncher.
I know. Yeah, it is a good name.
We'll come up with a real actual game. I mean, a legitimate game, and we'll call it Tabletop Puncher.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, we'll come up with something. Something like where your cards get punched out for some reason.
Or you have to, or you lose a card.
Like you lose a card for some reason.
All right, start thinking about it.
Yeah, we'll come up with that. We'll ask Paul.
Paul is good at coming up with new games.
He comes up with new games all the time.
Tabletop Puncher. We did have some listeners who provided additional rules or additional variations for Tabletop Puncher, so we appreciate getting those.
Well, it can be played a lot of different ways.
There's a lot of different ways. What did we say? Everybody gets 10 cards down.
Yeah.
And if you've got, I think we said if you have 9 players, you're thinking, wait a minute, 9 players, 10 cards
90 cards. We never mentioned anything about 2 decks, too. That's what I like. It's just automatically.
All right. anyway, April Fools, everybody. So we hope people enjoyed that. We hope didn't lose any listeners. As a result of, oh, God.
Those guys are idiots.
Wasted a half hour. Well, we kept the episode short, too, so that it wouldn't just, go on and on. So, hey, we got a Facebook question from listener Terrence, who wanted to know, Mike, about your craps table. You've actually got a table that you can set up in your home. Tell us about your table.
Well, the craps table, actually, our friend Paul was at an auction, and he does printing, and he was there to buy some printing equipment. And then one of the things up for auction was this craps table. And what it is, it's one of these tables that was used by a casino party group.
So a company that puts on casino parties.
Yeah, they put on these casino parties for charities and fundraisers and stuff.
Right.
And so they don't have, it has to be portable. It has to be a table that can be taken apart and carried somewhere easily because they, every night they're somewhere different. So it has a stand that it sits on. And I'd say it's about, would you say about half or 3/4 size of a regular casino?
I guess so. I'm trying to remember, but that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's over half, but maybe not quite 3/4.
I mean, it's big enough that it has two sides to it, right?
Oh, yeah, it has two sides to it. And you could easily have, 4 to 5 people on each side.
Yeah, okay.
So you can easily play 10 people.
Right.
I think we have before.
Yeah.
And it's got a felt, and it's got a rail to put your chips in, and it's got all the padding on the sides and the mirrors and everything like that.
And it's not like a fold-up table, but it's a table you kind of assemble.
You assemble it,
okay.
yeah.
But it doesn't take that long to assemble.
Oh, no, a few minutes. There's a stand, and then the top part is actually one piece, and that's the thing that takes up the biggest chunk of room.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it was up for auction, and he just, jokingly, well, I'll put $20.
Uh-huh.
And that was it. Nobody bid on it.
So he got it for $20.
He got it for $20.
Yeah.
He calls me up and says, I just bought a craps table for $20. Do you want it?
Yeah.
He didn't really want it. He just assumed I'd want it.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm like, well, yeah, for $20, I guess so. So it's been in my garage ever since. Now, he has a big warehouse, and he's often offered to store it there.
Yeah.
And just bring it out occasionally when we want to play. But, I have room in my garage, and so.
Yeah. So, Terrence was asking, where could he buy something like that, and where, what kind of table is it? But this is not a situation where, this was a custom made table, right?
Yeah, it was custom made.
That you just happened to get because it was an auction. So
right. Somebody
it's not something anybody could go out and buy,
probably somebody closed a business.
Yeah.
I would assume, though, if you really wanted to buy a craps table, I would imagine that someplace like Gambler's General Store would have varying qualities of tables, maybe.
I guess. If you're really talking Gambler's General Store, you're going to pay a lot,
right.
I think.
Well, if you want a real, casino-ready craps table, those are what did they tell us at Rincon? They got a new table recently.
Oh, it was like $10,000?
It was like
$20,000?
Yeah, it was like $12,000 or something $1,000 for the table.
Yeah.
So, they're expensive. Yeah. It's all nice wood and everything.
I don't know of any place where you get just a nice fold-up craps table. You're probably better off just building one yourself,
right.
Buying a felt.
Buy a nice felt.
Yeah, right. That you can do. Spend some money on a nice felt.
Yeah, and then build a table around the felt.
If you've got woodworking talent, which I do not.
No, but we, prior to this table that I have, we played plenty of times on just a one we made out of plywood.
Yeah, Paul actually made it, right?
Yeah, out of plywood, and it was fine, for a home game.
Yeah. Well, if anybody knows of a cheap craps table that you can buy, like maybe a fold-up, something portable, that you can just, take with you, and let us know.
I'd love to know that. Now, they have little ones. I've seen
you can get real little ones.
Real little ones.
Yeah, right.
I've seen that. But it'd be nice to have one that was maybe the size of like one of those long fold-up tables.
Well, you've got like a fold-up
table.
Yeah, or you've got like a fold-up 10-player poker table.
Yeah,
right. If you
get
something
into
like
a
that,
case and stuff. Yeah, and that's real nice. That thing's heavier than hell.
Yeah, it's very heavy. Yeah, you should have seen us taking that after we recorded the last episode, the last real episode. Yeah, Mike had brought over the table, so we were lugging it out to his car.
Oh my God!
It was like Laurel and Hardy. It was so heavy trying to get up.
It takes like 2 men to lift it,
even though it's a fold-up. So anyway, Terrence, if anybody knows, let us know, and hopefully we can pass this information along to Terrence and maybe get him a cheap, nice portable craps table. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link at the top of the page. That way, when you make a purchase, we get a little kickback that helps cover the costs of hosting the show and it doesn't cost you a thing. You'll pay the same price just like normal.
One more click.
Do you ever buy anything off Amazon?
My wife does all the time.
Everybody does. Yeah. Who doesn't? Everybody does.
Nowadays, everyone does.
So last real episode, we had gotten an email from listener Joe who'd had a situation where he was at the Flamingo and he was at a craps table and they raised the limits only on his half of the craps table.
Yeah, neither one of us had ever heard of that.
No. We'd heard of situations where they will raise the limit at the table and people who were already there get grandfathered in to the previous limit.
Right. They don't do that so much anymore.
I don't see it as much, but we've seen that before.
Oh, yeah.
But actually saying, no, now these people on this half of the table have a higher limit than people on the other half of the table. Right. And we had never heard of anything. And the excuse that they were given later was that because they were all diamond and platinum players. And that just seemed wrong to me.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to make sense.
Anyway, we got a response from listener Kurt, who I think solved the mystery here. He said, I am familiar with this table, and I am at the Flamingo a lot. The table in question is in the Margaritaville part of Flamingo, not in Flamingo itself. And Margaritaville is like a little bar, kind of to the side of the main casino.
It's closer to the Harrah's than it is to the Flamingo Road.
It's like on north part of Flamingo.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And that side. Just a little, it's like a bar.
Party pit kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what it is.
I don't think I ever saw the table in there. We usually just blew past it.
We usually blew past that. But the time I remember walking through there, I don't remember seeing a craps table.
Yeah.
And it may not have been there, and it may be there at only certain times.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think they'd lug away a table.
No, I mean times of the year.
Oh, times of the year. Oh, then that's
possible, when it's busier, they bring it out.
I thought maybe they'd purchased a very inexpensive portable craps table that could be folded up.
Some guy just builds it, and then they move it along.
That was it. Anyway, Kurt goes on to say, the reason the table has a $5 minimum is that Margaritaville had a banner advertising $5 craps all day. And since they only have one table there, they would bump up one side of the table to a $10 minimum whenever it got busy, so that the other half of the table could still be a $5 minimum and their banner would still be truthful.
Oh, boy.
Right? So
there's a solution to that.
Yeah.
Right? Get rid of the banner.
Well, apparently that's what they've done. Kurt goes on to say they have subsequently removed that advertisement after many, many complaints. And it functions as a normal table now, fluctuating between $5 and $10 minimums, depending on how busy the casino is. So, all right, here's a story that we keep talking about. And it's funny because when we initially discussed this, we were thinking, gosh, should we even talk about this on the show? It didn't seem like it was that big of a topic. But if you've been listening to the show recently, a few episodes ago, we talked about a person at Harrah's by us who found a $500 chip on the carpet and turned it in. And we asked listeners, what would you do? And we got, a lot of responses. Most people said that they would keep it themselves, that they didn't trust that the casino would, try to find the owner of the chip. And how did it get down there to begin with? And
I think overwhelmingly the theme was nobody trusts casinos.
You're right.
Really?
Yeah, that was it. It was like, if I give it to the casino, nobody's going to get this $500, right?
Right.
And the rightful owner or otherwise. Well, anyway, we got a tweet from listener Mike who sent us a picture from an elevator at the Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh. And I'm going to read to you what this said. This is a plaque that was actually on the elevator. It said,
we're looking at a picture of the elevator right now.
It says, the Pennsylvania State Police investigate any crimes that take place on the gaming floor of a casino. The majority of the crimes reported to the state police at Rivers Casino involved the theft of lost or mislaid property. Lost or mislaid property. Property in this instance is often money, casino credit vouchers, or even the credits on the machines themselves. Right? And I'm going to continue to read here. It says, so what should you do if you find money, a voucher, or unplayed credits on a machine? Do not take possession of found money or vouchers. Do not cash out or play anyone else's credits. Find a casino employee and report your discovery. The casino will usually be able to locate the owner of the property and return it to them.
So if you walk up, you're walking by and you just glance over at a slot machine and you see that there's 10 credits left.
Right.
That haven't been played.
Yep.
You're supposed to like, hey, get over here. There's some credits on this machine. Find out who they belong to.
Well, what you're supposed to not do is play them. That would be breaking the law.
Yeah, but what if you...
In Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but what if you sat down, okay, for instance, and you didn't take possession of the credits. You just played it hoping that you would get that guy some more money. Right?
And then leave it on.
And then call him over and say, hey, he's got 100 credits here,
Yeah, all right.
You didn't actually take possession. You didn't cash them out. You just played them.
Good luck arguing that when you're in court.
Because I would just play him and have fun. And if he lost, I didn't take possession of anything.
Play him all the way through. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it says right here, do not play anyone else's credit. Anyway,
okay.
I mean, yeah.
Do not cash out or play anyone else's
It's a nice little skit that you just did there, but I
still think that's crazy.
Well, one of the things, so we read this the first time, and I responded to Mike and I said, chips, casino chips are missing from this notice. They're conspicuously missing. They talk about money, casino credit, even credit on the machines, but they don't say casino chips. So actually, listener Mike went and did a little more research and found this from a press release from the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board. And it says this. The Gaming Control Board and state police are reminding visitors to Pennsylvania casinos to immediately turn in lost cash, vouchers, chips, or unplayed slot machine credits, or face the possibility of criminal theft charges. It says there's no such thing in Commonwealth casinos as finders keepers when it comes to finding lost money or credits.
I wished it had said losers weepers. That would have been great. There's no such thing as finders keepers, losers weepers. Ha ha.
So, I mean, here's a case where it's very clear. If you're Pennsylvania.
I mean, they actually go to we're looking at a picture of the elevator where above the buttons, there's this big, printed thing that's on the wall.
So, I mean, they're making it clear. So, whatever your opinion was as to what you should do with the chip that you find, if you're in Pennsylvania,
be careful.
Yeah, you better turn it in or ignore it.
So, what I've learned in the last few months is that I hate the Washington State Gaming Commission.
Right.
I hate the Oklahoma State Gaming Commission.
Right.
And now I hate the Pittsburgh or the Pennsylvania State Gaming Commission.
Okay.
And I'm not going to Utah because they don't have
a gaming commission.
Yeah, they don't have a gaming commission either. So I'm slowly but surely eliminating the states I can live in.
Okay. All right. Good.
I didn't say Hawaii, even though they don't have a gaming commission either.
You could live there.
I could still live there.
No, you couldn't. Are you kidding me? 1 month, you'd feel so cut off. You'd be dying to, hit the casino.
I'm sure there's an illegal craps game somewhere.
You're nuts. Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, so you get arrested. Well, this kind of brings us to our next segment. We got another nice email from listener Bill, who had sent us 10 questions a little while ago that we answered. And he sent us another 10 questions. So we're going to go through these questions. And before he got to the 10 questions, let me tell you what he wrote. He said, where do you see the show in the upcoming years? Do you feel you will add segments, take calls, or have guests? He says, I enjoy your show as is. However, I thought it would be interesting to see if you have any aspect you would like to develop. And this is a good question because I've been thinking about this. It's a good
question for somebody who thinks about things. I mean, I don't even plan dinner out.
Oh, see, now I've been thinking about this, though, because when we started the show, we thought, oh, well, it's going to be kind of educational and, we're going to teach people the right way to gamble. And, there's just so much of that you can do. It's not like, every episode, okay, here's basic strategy for blackjack. Pay attention. If you've got a 12 and the dealer has a 2, you hit. If you've got a 12 and so, I mean, how much education can we do? We've covered a lot of stuff and I think we still want to do that.
We should do some of that, yeah.
But what I would love, well, first of all, it would be kind of nice to interview people, but I don't think I've got good interview skills. I think I'd get tongue-tied and, oh, thanks for coming on the show. So you really like gambling, huh?
Well, I'm sure if you interviewed regularly, you'd get better at it.
Maybe that's true.
But then, lining up people and stuff. And
we need to we need to upgrade our setup here too. Because we're not really set up to take phone calls very well and that kind of thing. But
right.
it would be kind of
barely out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
We probably shouldn't get carried away.
But here's what I'd really like to happen on the show. I would love for this show to be a real dialogue with listeners.
You're right.
I love when we get emails and we're able to respond to them. I would love to start getting a lot of phone calls and have people leave messages and say, hey, here's a story that happened to me at this casino, or, here's a trip report, something like that,
Yeah, I would like trip reports. I love stuff like that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so we'd love for that, if you were to call on our hotline, it's 951-292-4377.
Now, how's that go again?
I can't ever remember that. So just remember 951-2-WAGERS.
951-2-WAGERS.
Give us a call. I'd love to hear some trip reports, or, hey, here's what's happening, at this gambling establishment. Here's something that happened to me. Here's something odd gets stored. But I'd like it to be a dialogue with listeners.
Yeah, I like trip reports. So that way, in between patients, when I'm bored to death, I can go in my office and listen to somebody tell me something fun that happened, something wacky that happened, just whatever happened on their last trip. If you go to casinos, especially as much as we do, there's a lot of weird things that happen.
Oh, things happen all the time, sure.
Yeah, we've got stories. I mean, every night we come home laughing about something.
Yeah.
And we don't tell them all because sometimes they're only funny to us.
Right. Sometimes they're stupid. Sometimes they're not worth talking about. It's like one sentence, right? And it doesn't really fit into the show. But, get in touch with us. Phone calls. You can email us. You can bet on that at gmail.com. I'd like it to just be a big community, where we're all kind of talking about gambling.
And eventually it'd be nice if we had if we took some phone calls on the air and answered them, stuff like that.
You know what I would love to do is just have, again, listeners can, leave messages that we'll play. But every once in a while, it'd be great to call a listener while we're recording and actually have a conversation with them. Oh, I love doing that.
Right, especially if somebody had a good trip.
Yeah, had a lot to talk about.
Or a trip out of the country to a casino, a foreign casino, or
yeah, I'd love that. So something that just kind of makes this a big community where we're all just talking about gambling and what we like, and we'll still do some of the educational stuff, talk about new games, table games, strategy. The home poker game, that kind of thing. We still plan on doing that. But,
we could come up with new games is what we need to do too.
That's what we should do. Yeah. Just come up with new games
and
tell people about it. All right, let's get on to Bill's questions. Here we go. Number 1, what is your favorite non-Harrah's Las Vegas casino? So non-Caesars Entertainment Las Vegas casino, and why? What's yours?
Well, that's changed over the years. A few years back, I would have told you the Golden Nugget.
Yeah?
Downtown? I really liked Golden Nugget. Yep. And we liked Four Queens for a while.
That's right.
We played at Four Queens
downtown
a lot.
all the time, yeah.
And Nugget, but we haven't been downtown in a long time.
I would have said Binion's, a Horseshoe.
Oh, Binion's Horseshoe was great. In the days when it was Binion's.
Yeah.
I love that place. I mean, it was crowded and dingy and a little dirty, but for whatever reason, I really liked that place.
Gosh, dollar craps and, for a while, 10 times odds, 100 times odds. Oh, it was great. Yeah. Single deck blackjack. Oh, I love that place.
Yeah, that was a great place.
But how about now?
Now, I'm going to go with Bellagio.
Okay.
Because we play it mostly craps and it's wide open there. I like the atmosphere for the craps tables.
I do like the open space.
I don't particularly like the dealers so much there.
Right.
But I do like the space.
Yeah.
And I guess along those lines, I'd go with Venetian and maybe Wynn.
Yeah.
Too. Because,
I like Wynn.
Yeah, because they're nice and open. And
I kind of like the Venetian setup too, although I'd be hard-pressed to go to Venetian Palazzo anytime soon because of Sheldon Adelson trying to prevent online gambling. He's spending millions of dollars and, trying to get the GOP to outlaw online gambling. And he's really two-faced, right? Here's this guy who owns a casino. So
right. Well, he doesn't want online gambling because he wants you in his casino.
I can't see going back to Venetian Palazzo, but I did like playing there. That's true. Yeah. You know what place I like? Mandalay Bay.
Yeah, Mandalay Bay is a pretty good place to play.
I enjoyed the dealers there. I really like playing.
We like the wide open casinos, and I don't know why I've never really enjoyed playing at MGM Grand.
Yeah,
but it is wide open.
That's true.
they have it's a nice layout. It's a big casino, but I don't know why I've just never enjoyed that too much.
Mandalay Bay for me. That's why it's
Mandalay Bay's good.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
Now, what's your least favorite
casino
right now in Vegas?
Well,
not downtown, on the Strip.
On the Strip. Like Circus, but I haven't been there in years.
What about Luxor?
I haven't been there in years.
We went to Luxor a few times.
I know. I mean, now if you're asking me what's my least favorite
we
casino.
stayed in a crappy room at Luxor. You remember that?
Oh, okay, it was right over the.
It was right over the club.
Yeah.
Right above the club, and all night, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
that was rough. Yeah.
I mean, when you're only going to get 2 or 3 hours of sleep, you don't want to hear boom, boom, boom.
I haven't been there a while. You know, honestly, if I had to say what casino do I dislike that we've been to recently, Harrah's Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Because it is always crowded at those tables.
Right.
Sometimes the dealers, oh
Well,
gosh.
it's a small, older casino, and
Yeah.
it's very crowded. I would love it if they renovated that.
Yeah.
If they just redid the whole thing.
Well, don't hold your breath.
That won't happen. They'd have to close it down for a long period of time.
Yeah. All right. Question number 2. What was the smallest amount of money you started playing with and the largest amount won? So I'm going to take this one because I think I've got the best story. This is actually a story we told back on episode 10 about the huge craps run we had at Caesar's Palace. And I'll just quickly go over it. You were playing and I was just watching because I didn't have a lot of money left. And, you know, anybody who's tried to do that, anybody who loves playing craps and is just trying to watch his friend play, it's just like, I've got to get in the game, right?
Yeah,
you know?
It's like somebody poking you in the back with a sharp stick.
So I took out $25 and I just said, here, give me $25 on the hard 8. I thought maybe I'll hit the hard 8 and then I'll have some money to play with. So sure enough, I hit a hard 8, right? $250. I pulled it down.
Right.
And now I had $250 to play with. Well, shortly thereafter, I don't know if it was the next shooter or whatever, we placed all the numbers. And you and I did the same thing. It was, you know, we don't always play the same, but in this case, for whatever reason, we had placed all the numbers and we bought the 4 and 10.
Right.
So,
and it's funny because we very seldom play the same way.
Right. But this time we both had money on all the numbers. And the 4 kept hitting. And every time it hit, we doubled the bet. So we went from 25, 50, 100. Go back to episode 10 and listen to the whole story. We embellish it quite a bit more. But the guy rolled 9 4s before 7ing out. We got the bet up to $5,000 and it hit.
Hit at $5,000.
The $5,000 buy bet on the 4 hit. And so starting with $25, I cashed out from that table with about 16, 17,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's the
starting from not even playing because you didn't have any money.
That's right.
To $25.
To $25 a hard way that, you know, went to the buying of the 4 that, you know. Okay. Question number 3. Let's pretend you would be guaranteed to make more money, say plus 30%, gambling at craps than your current job. Would you change professions or feel you would not be living up to your potential?
Plus 30%?
Yeah.
Well, plus 30% I'd change in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would. There's no question I would quit my job and become a professional gambler. Because, you know, feel I'm not living up to my potential. I basically felt that whole way until we started doing this podcast. All right? So that's no problem.
No, I'll say this in all seriousness. You know, my potential is to be a good father and a good husband.
Right.
And, you know, and take care of my family and stuff. That's what I want to live up to.
Right.
My job is something that I, you know, enjoy doing, but it also just provides me a living. Now, if I could, you know, enjoy playing craps and make more money, of course I'd do that.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
Well, I guess there's some people who just feel like, oh, I'm, you know, wasting my life. I'm not, you know, providing any service to my fellow man.
Yeah, but you provide more money to your family and you could take care of them well.
Yeah.
And you'd probably work less. I guarantee you, if I'd work less.
Well, yeah,
craps.
if it's plus 30%, I mean, he didn't say that, you know, you could only gamble $5 at a time, right? You know, so yeah, that'd be great. All right. Question number 4. Do you feel the comps are a lot less than, let's say, 10 years ago? If so, please provide an example or two. You know, comps in general may be less, but we're getting more comps now.
Well, part of that is too, you know, we are a higher status a player.
Yeah, we are, and
we're getting more comps.
We've got a local casino that we go to all the time. It used to be, it was only when we were in Vegas.
Right,
yeah.
And we go regularly to the casino there. If you have a casino that you go to regularly, like we go to Harrah's, you're going to get a lot of comps.
Yeah.
Because you're there every week. Now, if you just went to Vegas, say, you know, twice a year, 3 times a year, even if you went 12 times a year, once a month, you're probably not going to get that many comps.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if we can really answer this question just because our personal experience is, you know, we're getting more comps like now than ever before, but it's because we go to a local casino virtually every week.
Right.
And they're comps that we happen to be able to carry over to Vegas or wherever. So,
yeah, if there was no Harrah's here,
yeah,
and we were just like a Barona or Sequan or one of the other casinos not affiliated with any other casino, we probably wouldn't be getting very much.
No, yeah, you're right.
But we get it more because we go to ones that are, the Caesars.
So that's our experience. That'd be another question to throw out to the audience. How do you think, do you think comps are better now than they used to be or worse, and why, and what's your experience been? Yeah. Question number 5. Does it ever feel a bit weird when one of you wins big and the other loses big after a single night of gambling or during an entire trip? One guy is feeling celebratory and the other is down in the dumps. I can't think of any time where one of us has won and the other's lost. I think we've always won and lost together.
Yeah.
Isn't that true, Dr. Mike?
That's true. That is so not true because there's almost always where one of us, we either do this. One of us will win big and the other one will win a little.
Yeah.
Or one of us will lose pretty big and the other one will lose just a little.
Right.
I think those are the two most common things that happen. Every once in a while, somebody loses big and somebody else wins big. It's hard to compare what you consider big and I consider big.
Well, let me ask you this. Has there ever been just a trip to a casino or during an entire trip to Vegas, where you've won and I've lost?
No,
I can't think of one.
I don't think there's been one. Well, you're way more conservative.
Well, yeah, I know.
So we're usually playing together. So if I've won, chances are you've won too, just not as much.
Right.
However, that doesn't go by if you lost or if you won a little that I was going to win a little too.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm more aggressive.
So there's there's also never been a situation where I've won big.
Right.
And you've lost.
Right.
But there have been plenty of situations where you've lost however much and I've won a little bit.
And you've won a little
even
bit.
though maybe we've been playing together. That happens as not
and
more than the other cases.
And a few times there's been situations where one of us has hit something big, like I hit a big slot payout or something, and I've won because of that.
Yeah.
But together, playing together on the craps table, we both lost or something like that.
So I guess to answer the question, those times when you lose and I win, I don't know, you're feeling kind of bad and I'm feeling kind of good, but it's not like I'm woohoo.
No.
It's more like...
because you don't win that much that you're whooping it up.
Right.
And I feel bad sometimes, but not because you won. I feel bad because, I thought, well, I should have played different or I should have, or why didn't that hard 6 hit?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many times we talk about this a lot when we're playing where I'll be on the cusp of a monster win.
Yes.
If just like a hard 6 would come up.
Yes, right.
And then when it doesn't, it's like, oh gosh.
Yeah. So anyway, we never feel weird about it. Either one of us.
No, because we've gambled too much.
Yeah.
We've played together too much.
Yeah. Question number 6. Who would last longer being abstinent from gambling?
That's an easy
Me or
one.
you?
You.
I would last longer, yeah.
Oh,
I agree.
Of course.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do we need to discuss any more?
No, I mean, you wouldn't like it, but you would be more diligent to
I'm more disciplined.
Through.
It's funny. There's a lot of things in my life I'm not disciplined about, but
that is one thing you are disciplined at.
All right. Question number 7. Sometimes in a casino, nothing seems to go right. With that said, what is your estimated quickest time you lost, say, between $500 and $1,000? So I'll let you take this one, Dr. Mike.
Well, it can go very quick on a craps table, especially if you're betting 25 on the line with full odds.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone to a table and been down, $500 on the first shooter.
Sure. Right. Because you're, like you said.
Because I'm putting 500 out there.
25 with full odds, right? If you're talking about 5 times odds, right? That's 150 just on your pass line and odds.
Right. And then you cover all the numbers and you make some hard way bets.
Right. Or maybe you're making come bets. Yeah. So,
I mean, mostly it's like a $300 swing, but it could be 5. And it certainly could be down 1,000 within, 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, then you can get it right back. Craps is pretty volatile that way.
Oh, no question.
Now, and if you just said blackjack, well, that lasts a lot longer because, at the most it's $25 bets. I usually don't raise my blackjack betting until I'm up.
Right, and you start like 25.
I started.
You're not like starting with 100.
No, I started 25 every time, and if I got on a roll and I'm up 200 or 300, then I might jump up to $50 bets.
Yeah,
So.
All right, question number 8. What was your biggest comeback? And I'm going to let you take this one because I think you've got the best comeback story.
Well, there's a couple of them. There was the time at Binion's Horseshoe downtown when it was still Binion's.
Yeah.
When I was down quite a bit for the trip.
And I wasn't with you on this trip.
No, I was there with a couple of gals. And they were in line.
A couple of gals. All right.
They were in line for the buffet at Binion's. And there was a long line, and I said, well, I'm not going to stand here in this line. They had 100 times odds. So I went over.
And you were down for the trip,
I was
right?
down
So
for
you
the
were,
trip. So, I mean,
you didn't want to stand in line when you could maybe make your money back.
Try and get my money back. So I went over 100 times odds, bought in for $100, cashed out for $12,000 before they had got into the buffet.
Wow.
Yeah.
And with 100 times odds, so were you making come bets or were you making put bets?
No, I was putting.
I
was making put bets.
Listeners might not know what put bets are. Without going into a lot of detail, it's kind of like a place bet, but it's a come bet that you're putting directly on a number.
Right. It's kind of you can think of it as either a place bet that looks like a come bet, or a come bet that doesn't have to go through the come, that you just
you just put it on a number. It's like, well, why would you want to do that? Well, you'd want to do that when you could put
100 times
big odds, like 100 times odds.
So you could bet $1 and
rather
put $100
bet.
behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was doing, I started with $1 and 100, and then it was like 5 and 500. And next thing I know, I got $12,000 ahead.
Nice.
So
that was your biggest comeback.
That was a big comeback. Yeah. Well, and then there's been others where I've hit slot machine payouts.
Well, let's go. That's good.
Oh, and there was at Harrah's Rincon, there was that $8,000 comeback.
Oh, and I was kind of involved in that too. We were both down.
We were both down a lot, and my dad was like, "Oh my gosh, don't get any more money." And then I got a little more money and won all $8,000 back.
Yeah, it's not as interesting a story. I mean, it's we made our money back.
To even.
Yeah. Well, okay. So speaking of which, let's go on to number 10. What was your largest slot win, and what was the game and the denomination? And I'll let you take this because the most I've ever won on a slot, I think, is $1,199, right? That dollar less than $1,200 where you have to fill out the tax form. But tell your story. We've mentioned this on the show before.
We've talked about this before. Yeah. We were out. We were waiting for our plane, actually, killing time till we had to go to the airport.
Right, yeah.
And we were both down and pretty much didn't have much money left.
It was like, well, this is how the trip's going to end. We're both going to be losers.
We were going to go to get ice cream.
Yep. It was a Bellagio.
It was a Bellagio. We're going to go to get ice cream, and then I saw these couple girls playing couple gals, playing at a slot machine. And, we were young and they were young, and I walked over, and as usual, whenever, I approached two women, they ran.
They ran as fast as they could.
Right. Got out of there. And I thought, well, what the heck? I'm here at the slot machine. So I put in $6.
Yeah.
First pull, $3 nothing. Second pull, $3. And you had walked away.
I was just kind of hovering,
and
I wasn't
the machine
really watching
was making all kinds of noise, and I'm trying to figure out what I got paid. And it was one of those carousel things. There was a attendant in the middle of the carousel.
Right, this was before ticket in, ticket out, right?
Yeah,
These
this was coin.
Using the big dollar coins,
yeah. And so she's like, "Oh, congratulations!" I said, "Oh, what happened?" I really had played so little slots in my life, I had no clue.
Right, and no coins were coming out.
No coins were coming out, and I'm thinking, if I won, how come I'm not getting anything? Right. Well, it was a $15,000 payout.
Oh man!
So I put $6 in and got $15,000 out. And so we had a good trip.
It's pretty amazing that you hit that because you are not a slot player.
No.
Think of how many slots you've played. And then think of other people who play slots all the time and have never hit that big.
Now, at that point, I don't know about today, but at that point, I could tell you I was definitely up for slots for my life.
Oh, yeah.
I probably hadn't put more than $200 in slot machines up to that point.
Yeah.
I still might be ahead for slots.
You might be, yeah. It's true.
I still might be ahead for slots.
All right. Bill, again, thank you for all those questions. And again, this is the kind of thing that, I missed one. I missed number 9.
You went from 8 to 10.
I just skipped right over it. Number 9, thank you for pointing that out. So number 9, what was the biggest high roller / whale you have seen play, and what was the amount and the average bet and the game and what have you? I'll just start with mine because it's not quite as interesting, but I was at... It's funny that so many of these stories, we play together so many times, and we've been to Vegas so many times, and a lot of these stories we weren't together when it happened. Right. But anyway, I was at the Aladdin, and I was playing blackjack. This was back when they had great blackjack rules at the Aladdin. They weren't freaking out about counters, and they just had good rules and were putting out good games and good penetration. And there was a guy at the table next to me playing, $5,000 a hand. He had $5,000 chips, and he was just playing it. Not that interesting a story, but that's the most I think I've ever seen is, just somebody sitting there playing 5,000 a hand.
Which is still quite a bit of money.
Oh, of course it is. The story's not all that interesting because I didn't see him losing all that much or what have you. It's just a guy playing 5,000 a hand.
Mine, I'd have to say, was with my wife and I at Venetian. I believe it was at Venetian. It was early in the morning. So we had gone to bed early the night before. And I wanted to get up early and play when there weren't very many people on the craps table. And so we got up, and so we're there, just the two of us. So we only two on the table. Yeah. Guy walks up, and he was middle-aged. He wasn't an older guy. He walks up, he cashes in for $100,000.
Now, how did he do that? Did he ask for a marker?
He asked for a marker.
Of course, yeah.
For $100,000. I gave him $100,000 right away.
Yep.
And he proceeded to lose that $100,000 on the craps table in, I believe, 2 shooters, maybe.
He lost the whole $100,000?
He lost the whole $100,000. I think I rolled and then he rolled, and that was it.
So what was he betting?
Was gone. And then he just walked away. He was betting like $5,000 on the line with odds, and he was, and he was covering everything. And I mean, I seem to remember now. My wife has a better memory than I do, and I didn't ask her about this ahead of time, but I seem to remember that one of them, maybe it was his roll, was like an immediate out.
Yeah.
Where he had, placed all the numbers, had the point, had a bunch of hard ways, and just immediate out.
Yeah.
But anyway, he lost that. And I, at the time, I'm playing $25. And I'm looking at him, and it's like 5,000 on the line with full odds. I'm thinking, holy crap. And he walked away after losing that 100,000 like I had just lost 100 and like, oh, let's try another
So he
table.
didn't seem fazed by it?
Didn't seem fazed at all.
Right.
So, there's a well. I mean, that's a guy probably... Yeah. And they had no problem giving him 100,000. They knew who he was. They just gave him 100,000. So,
wow. Okay. Yeah. That's a whale. Yeah.
That's a whale. I mean, that's a guy who's probably going through $1 million in the weekend.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. So again, Bill, thanks for the questions. And what I was going to say was, this is the kind of thing that we love, right? Kind of a dialogue with listeners, feedback. Let's talk about gambling. If you're listening to the podcast, you're probably like us. You love gambling. You love hearing stories. Let's kind of build a community here and
one of the best things about gambling for us, and I think I can speak for you when I say the best thing about gambling is we have fun because not only us two talking, but the people around us. We always, whether it's the dealers or other players, we always have something fun and interesting.
Sure. Everybody's got stories. Everybody's got opinions, right? Right or wrong about, what you should
some
be
of
doing.
Our fun is making fun of how stupid their opinions are. But it's still fun.
It's still fun. Yeah. All right. So that's going to do it for this episode. Be sure to download our app for your mobile device. You'll get access to all our episodes, quick links to contact us via Twitter, feedback, email, and our voicemail hotline. And you get bonus audio. On the bonus audio for this episode, we talk about a tip we got on a horse about 30 years ago. Was it legit? Listen to the bonus audio and you'll find out. Also with our app, you also get TV listings showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. I update those listings every Wednesday using a program I wrote myself to search through all of the raw American TV data. The bonus audio and the TV listings are only available on our app. To download it, go to our webpage, youcanbetonthat.com, and on the left-hand side of the page, click on the link that says how to download our app. We have a link for Android devices and another one for iPhones and iPads. Give us a call on our voicemail hotline, 9512-WAGERS, or you can email us at youcanbetonthat@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, at YouCanBetOnThat. We always tweet when we're in a casino or on our way to a casino, and we'd love to meet up with you. We've met up with some listeners so far, and it's been great. We've had a blast.
We haven't had a bad one yet.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat, and head over to iTunes and write a review on us. When you do, it helps us get new listeners. Phew. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, well, you have the hard part there.
I know, but work today was mentally exhausting, so I was trying to stay focused during the show. And I was
made one
flustered.
mistake at the end there. I didn't correct you.
Did what I do?
Well, when you said to contact us via Twitter, and then you're supposed to say Facebook, and you said feedback.
So I said Twitter, feedback, and email.
And email. Yeah. It's Facebook.
It's Facebook. It's not feedback.
It's Facebook.
Because I've been telling you,
we should start something.
I friended you on feedback. How come you didn't friend me back?
We should send something. That's like that commercial. I got to say this. That funniest commercial, that old lady with her wall. I'm posting it on my wall. Have you seen that?
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, God, it's hilarious. And her friend's like, I don't think that's how it works. And she has all these pictures on her wall.
Oh, on a real wall.
On a real wall.
All right, yeah.
And then she says, and the lady's like, I don't think that's how it works. She says, I'm unfriending you. And she pulls her picture off the wall.
I haven't seen it. What's it a commercial for?
It's for one of the, like, AT&T or something like that.
So you don't even know. So how effective is it? It's a great
I'm laughing
commercial.
so hard.
All right, so I apologize for my lack of mental focus during this episode.
All right.
Any bad humor that I might have thrown in, see if I can do better next time. Anything else you'd like to add?
No.
Where are we going? We got a great email from a listener who was recommending Tunica over at Chicago, maybe even Biloxi.
We're really seriously considering Tunica or Biloxi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mississippi may be our next destination. Well, Vegas will be my next destination, but this... maybe in the fall, go to Tunica.
Yeah, and maybe World Series of Poker. All right.
Yeah, World Series of Poker.
We'll talk offline.
Coming up.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Good night.